Hi, this is Steve again. Hopefully you can see my teeth look pretty good. It has officially been a year now since I've had my implants. I'm actually on the side of the roadway right now doing a video because I've got a lot of people that have been asking me questions and kind of filming things out. I'll tell you, the first thing that happened when I got the teeth is they felt so freaking bulky. Your tongue is in the way in the top and the bottom on the inside of your mouth. Very hard to talk. You're lisping all the time. I still have a little bit of a tongue issue onto it, but way better than what I had. I've noticed the longer you talk, the more your tongue tends to start shining like this, and you're having a little bit more issues because your tongue is not used to being in such a weird position. Because I have I don't know what the name is, but on the bottom of your jaw, you have where your teeth go, and mine, instead of going straight down, they kind of go in. So if you feel the bottom part of your mouth, there's a ridge that kind of goes up, and then you have your teeth, and mine are very narrow. So the problem that I have is I have a very narrow area. So when they were doing x-rays and they put those little x-ray cards in your mouth, they're like, here, hold your mouth. Those things dug into my gums, and oh my God, they were excruciating painful, because they're just like, there's nothing else we have out there. There's nothing we can do except for when you go into the to like ClearChoice and stuff, and they actually use the MRI or whatever it is, and they do a whole head scan, which is really cool. Never had a whole head scan before or anything before, but they want to see what your entire jaw, your entire face, your entire skull structure is. It's not like going to a dentist and all they do is just do a real quick here. They did a full 180 MRI on my head, so they can see everything, the bone structures in the skull, the nasal, I mean the whole 9 yards, everything, because they want to know what the hell's there. And they said that I had some really bad bone loss in one area, and Kaiser, my dentist that I had beforehand, I had gone in twice to have them do some bone restructuring, things like that, to get my bone loss to be better than, but they said it's never going to get better, but we'll make it better by a little bit of surgery. And it was $1,000 here and $1,500 there. It's like, what a waste of fucking money. Once you get the implants, the titanium implants, now the implants are actually the rods or the screws that are in your skull, and those are called the implants. The teeth are on top of the implants. So the titanium implants, once they're embedded into your skull and your jaw, the bone material will actually start growing around it, so your bone loss will actually drop, the loss itself will drop, which means you're gaining more bone mass, which is the opposite of what dentists are able to do, which is pretty cool. I had people ask me some questions about certain things, so I figured I'd make another video, see how things are going. Like I said, it's a year and a half after I've had them. I've noticed that if you get some stuff underneath your teeth and your gums get raw or sore, it's because you're not being able to get the stuff out. Okay, the floss that they give you does not allow you to go up and around your gum lines. Okay, the natural gum lines that you have. If you have dentures, you can tell that. You look at the dentures, you flip them upside down where they fit onto your gums, they're a pocket. Well, they don't give you a floss that'll actually get into up and over these areas. You can go up, kind of shove it in there, but when you're pulling the string on both sides, let's say you get it underneath the here and you're running it through your mouth, you're not getting the concave parts of the teeth part of the implants. Okay, you're basically polishing the tops of your gums for the most part. Okay, that's why they tell you to get a water pick, or in my case, I use an air compressor. Now, I had somebody ask me about air compressors, things like that, so let me get into a little bit of something on that. I have industrial air compressors. I own a business, so I have huge compressors that run on a lot of electricity, so I have the capability of literally blowing holes in my mouth if I wanted to, because of the amount of pressure that we run. But I only run about maybe 20 pounds of pressure when I'm actually doing my teeth. I just take I took a blow gun and I made the nozzle go around almost to a 180 degree, so I could actually blow into my gums and stuff like that and get all the chunks out. But I would go on the inside of my mouth and shoot it up or down, basically aiming it towards the the tops of my gums on the inside of my teeth. Well, I found that there's some people, well, most people don't have an air compressor, so to speak, that is readily available to them. Okay. Now, what I found is I do have in my house, I tried doing pinstriping, for a little bit, and some airbrushing. So if you go down to Michael's or some of these, what do you call them, the places that you can go play with arts and crafts and stuff like that, they have small little air compressors that are in there for airbrushing. That's all you need, because they're already a regulated pressure of maybe about 5 or 10 pounds at the most. You can't do any damage on yourself at all. Okay. The only thing is trying to figure out how am I supposed to make a fitting or something like that to go into my airbrush. That I haven't gotten there yet, but I'll take a look at my airbrush this weekend and kind of see if I can come up with something that people can actually use to do this. Because what's really cool is that when you use the airbrush and you push on the nozzle or the trigger to spray the paint, the compressor will automatically turn on because it senses that it has a lack of pressure into it. So it's kind of like got a built-in air regulator. So you can't go over like 5 pounds of pressure, which is literally blowing hard. That's as much as it really needs. Okay. You limit the amount of paint and stuff, and you get real fine areas by not allowing the tip to open up as much, to release as much air. That's the only thing that does. Okay. So, so basically the airbrush compressor would probably be best. Sometimes you can find a coupon in the paper or whatever it is for the first 25% off of, whatever you want to buy, or holiday specials, things like that. They got some really good deals out there that you don't have to pay a couple $100 for a compressor. Okay. So instead of going out and buying some industrial thing, you got to plug it into your garage, makes a lot of noise, takes up a lot of space. Nobody knows how to use it. The little airbrush compressors would be perfect. Now, as far as getting it to do something, like I said, I'm going to have to get back to you on that one, because I think if you just take the hose off of the airbrush attachment, so you're just running it straight from the compressor will run all the time. Then what you could do is basically take it and go underneath here, shove it underneath of the implant or teeth, whatever you want to call them, and you put it underneath of it, and it'll actually blow the stuff on the inside of your mouth. It's really kind of nice. People said, well, what about a water pick? And one guy said, deal with it. It is what it is. It doesn't have to be, it is what it is. Okay. I've learned a lot of people just have answers based on only what they know. Okay. That's why I'm out here, because I give other people a little bit more advice, and I'm truthful about it. I tried using the water pick. That water spray goes everywhere. You look at your mirror, it's covered full of water. You got shit dribbling down your face. I mean, it's a freaking mess. I've heard from my doctors who did my work on me. They said that most people get an extension line and they run it into their shower. But how in the hell do they fill it back up? Because it only has a small little portion of water that you can do that. Well, does that mean that every time that you go out and you have a dinner, you have to run in and take a shower and use the water pick in your shower? Or, you're someplace or whatever, it's pain in the butt. Okay. One of the simplest things that I found that works really well, the flosses work 30%, I would say. Whenever I eat, the pressure that I feel from my gums, I feel no pressure from the teeth or the implants. It's when I chew, the excess food that's on the side pushes on your gums a little bit and makes it feel like you've got your implants completely packed full of food, which they're not. Okay. If any food gets stuck underneath of there's really no way to dig it out, because there is nothing out there that you can get. I've tried using toothpicks and stuff like that, but it doesn't really work. Well, I found that dental picks actually work the best. Okay, so here's one that I bought. You can buy them at Harbor Freight. There's like a pack of 4 of them. Now, what's great about this is I took the tip, and I put it into a little grinder or just a little sander, or you can just, if you don't have that, just put it on the ground and rub it on the ground, because these things are really freaking sharp, okay? As you can see, it's not sharp really anymore, okay? So what I did was I kind of ground down the pointy tip a little bit. Then I took it at my wire brush. Now, these things are made out of stainless, so they're not going to rust, okay? So they're okay to put in your mouth, whatever. So what I did was I made this tip so it's not hard. It's not pointy. It's not going to stab me. I'm not going to be bleeding everywhere. And I can actually take this and go in and go under like that, and I can take out foodstuffs. You can take it and flip it over the other direction, and you can do the inside as well. So if you get one of these, dull it out as much as you can so it's not pointy, as it's not going to hurt you, okay? Like I said, Harbor Freight was like $1.99 for 4 of these things, and these are a godsend, because if you go to a restaurant and you have some food and you get something stuck underneath there, it's irritating, especially if you're not close to home. You're going to be spending time with friends. You don't want to be sitting there, you know, trying to rinse the food out in front of everybody, making all kinds of noise or whatever, and then you're irritated for the next couple hours until you get to your house and either water pick it or air compress it or whatever you can find to do this. Sometimes it could be a pain in the ass. You get one of these, don't be driving. I mean, I could do it when I'm driving because I've been driving for 50 years. But basically you could take this and slide it underneath of the teeth area of the implants, and you could just go slide it really nice and easy and pull out any food products out from underneath. These are a godsend, okay? Nobody talks about this because they don't really, the dentists who do this stuff, they're like, give me money, let's do this. The good places like ClearChoice, those guys are awesome because they tell you everything they can. When I told them about the air compressor, the guy goes, I never thought about that, okay? The other thing also is that I asked them the last time I went down there, because I was getting little pockets of food that were getting stuck in here, and the food was wrapping around, or the gums were wrapping around the food, creating little pockets. So they removed the teeth out, and then they looked at them and said, yeah, they're really, really clean. But I was like, how clean are they on the inside? So we can brush the outside, we can kind of floss, and we can do other things, but how do you get to the areas that you can't get? There is no little brush that you can get between the gums and the teeth. You know, so what do you do there? So he goes, well, if you wanted us to, we could actually remove the implants, not the implants themselves, but the fake teeth with the fake gums. We can remove those and then flip them upside down, and we can scrub them and clean them. He says it'll cost a couple of $100. I'm like, hey, if I could do that every 6 months, I'll do that, because at least it feels to me that my mouth is clean, because your teeth are clean, your gums are clean. But if you can't get to a part, which is the inside of the fake teeth and gum area that's touching my gums, that means my gums are not really clean, and the inside area of the teeth that you can't get, that's over my gums, you can't clean those. There's no way in hell possible to do that. So I figured that every 6 months I will schedule an appointment. So I'm probably going to schedule one for probably December, because it gives me an idea of when to do it every so often. You know, like if you get your implants, like I had mine done in February of 22, so that means that after August, I figured that 6 months later I would get it done. So it kind of tells me every 6 months when I get it done. So I should have an appointment in February, and I should have another one in August. But I figured, okay, I'll do it during the Christmas time, something like that, because my birthday is around December, so at least it gives me an idea to kind of do that around the birthday, and then also around June as well. So find a couple of times to get it done, and it's way cheaper than a dentist appointment. The greatest thing is I keep getting emails from Kaiser Dental saying, we need to get you in here for a teeth cleaning. We haven't seen you for 1.5 years or 2 years. I'm like, you know, every dentist that's out there, they're not made to fix everything. They're just made to patch it, so the next time you come in, hopefully that's not going to be an issue again. If you think about it, they're like body workers. You ding up a fender, you ding up a tooth, you take it to a doctor or you take it to a body man, and all they do is hammer it out, beat on it, add some filler, grind it down, polish it, and there you go, send you on your way and collect a bunch of money. But you know what that fender looks like underneath, because it's all full of Bondo, chicken wire, or whatever it is, but it's just been covered, okay? contractors have a really good thing to hide all the imperfections, cover it with silicone or with mud. Okay, so I've learned over the years that, like, if you have a house and you look at you really truly look at the trim, you look at the paint, you look at everything, everything's been kind of thrown together, but then the last final pieces are the wood trim to cover all the really crappy cuttings, the paint to cover all the imperfections, the silicone to cover all the cracks and all of the gaps in between stuff. So that's basically what a dentist does, okay, is they fix things, but they don't repair things permanent. These are permanent, okay? I've had people ask me, what color did I get, okay? They have a chart from like 1 to 10, and I think number 10 is like movie star white. I mean, it's like so freaking bright, you could tell they're fake on TV, okay? And there's a lot of people that are out there that get the number 9s or they get the number 10s, and they look so stupid. Mine are 7, okay? So as you can see, they're not perfectly white, they're not yellow, they are an off-white. So me being 57 years old, they look like 57-year-old teeth, okay? Let's see if I get, okay. They look like 57-year-old teeth. What's really cool, which they don't tell you about, you don't have to floss in between your teeth. There is no gaps. Take a look at these. Okay? There's no gaps. The people at ClearChoice, when they did these, they told me that the people who actually do the teeth, making them, the guy that does them is such a professional. It's like we have the top of the top of the top of the cream of the crop here. Because not only do we have one guy who's a dentist, blah, 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 with all of his paperwork on the wall, the other doctor is actually a dentist, and he took extra years, another 8 years to become an MD. So if there's any problems and you're on the table and there's a problem with you and your blood pressure goes down, whatever, they have to call 911 and get an ambulance to pick you up and blah, blah, blah. The doctor here in the Portland location in Portland, Oregon, yes, I live in Portland, Oregon. Sorry. Anyway, I'm not the average Portlander that's here. I'm not. Okay. So anyway, instead of calling 911 and having an ambulance come and pick us up, ours is an MD. He already has all of the life-saving drugs, techniques, and everything in his office because he's a doctor and a dentist or a dental surgeon. So you have two guys that are like the bomb, okay? So there's nothing you have to worry about going into it. Make sure that your ClearChoice has some awesome doctors too. Look at what you have. Go onto Google, type in the location that's in your city, and if there's a 4-star or 3.5-star, look at the next town over and look at that ClearChoice and see what they have. If people give them 4 to 4.5 stars, maybe you might want to go to the other place. They're all franchisees, but all of the franchisee places, they're owned by surgeons, okay, that they own the corporation, and every single one of those people that work for ClearChoice, like the 2 doctors that I have in Portland, they're doctors as well, but they pay a franchise fee so they can float on the advertisement and stuff like that. So they all spend a bunch of money. Let's say you spend $100,000 a year in advertisement. Well, all that goes nationwide instead of just locally into your local area. So all these doctors are all working together to make sure that everybody has the greatest thing. So if one ClearChoice gets really shitty, then that puts a bad name on everyone else. And all of the ClearChoice people want everything to be the best it could be, with the best reviews, the best customers, the best customer base, the best doctors, everything they could think of, because all it takes is one person. And I remember this working for Mickey D's years ago. One person complaining could be 100 people that you lose sales for, because that one person will tell 10 people, and those 10 people will tell those 10 people. Okay? So you have a minimum of 100 people that will basically lose sales from because of something that had happened that should have never happened, or the situation wasn't taken care of right away. So, but anyway, let's see. Another thing is a person wrote and said They went to the dentist and they needed an implant, and they said they were quoted at $4,000 for one implant. Okay, that's probably the going price. Okay, I had a tooth here that broke off. Then because that broke off, it had attached decay to the other two teeth, so literally I had 3 teeth missing on this side. So this one right here is usually the fang tooth. The one next to that was missing, as well as the other two. But I had one tooth way the hell back here. It wasn't a molar, but I was like, well, how about a bridge? How about can I get an implant so I can actually have 3 teeth so I don't smile and half my smile is missing teeth on this side? And so I went to my doctor and said, sure, we can do this. And they did all this surgery and did all this and did all that and prepped everything. And they said, okay, now you're ready to get your implant. I'm like, okay, so when are we going to get it done? They said, oh, we don't do implants. So why did they do the work? Money. They prepped me to get implants, but never asked me about where I'm going to get them done or anything else. They just said, oh yeah, we can get these things all ready to go for you. And I was assuming, because they don't tell you everything, I was assuming that they were going to go ahead and they were going to have the teeth all done, that Kaiser was going to pay for it, and all I had to do was pay like $100 or $200 deductible or something like that. No. They took me to an oral surgeon over in Beaverton, Oregon, $1,200 out of pocket. They did some bone grafting, all this other stuff to get me some more bone mass over here. It was like 3 or 4 different appointments, a month out of doing this and that and soft foods and pain and whatever, So finally when they got it done and they said, oh, we don't do it, I'm like, then what the hell did you do this for? Well, we were setting you up for it. Like we told you, we never said we were going to do the implants. I said, yeah, you did, because you guys quoted me at about $3,000. And they said, no, we quoted you for $3,000 to prep you. And they said, if we did an implant, we could do a bridge or something like that, but you're looking at about $4,000 per tooth. Okay. Now, if you have a bunch of missing teeth and you need to have 3 implants, expect to pay $12,000 for those 3 implants. Okay. And that is the screw is the implant. So you're going to have a screw here, a screw here, and a screw here, and then the fake teeth and all of the work they got to do it, because normal dentists don't do implants. It's oral surgeons that'll do it. So if you have a dentist that you're going to and he's not an oral surgeon, he ain't going to be doing them. So it's going to be a surgeon. Well, those surgeons, they want a lot more money because they have a lot more schooling, and they don't have a problem drilling holes into your head and putting screws in and stuff like that. So you're going to be paying through the money for them. So look at about $4,000 per tooth. That's why when I had my teeth, and I really should take a video of the teeth. I asked my dentist if I can have my teeth. Excuse me. The oral surgeons that did my teeth, my fake teeth here. And they asked me why. So it's because I want to see what the hell those things look like. When I got them, they were the most disgusting looking, nastiest looking. I'm like, why in the hell was my dentist even trying to beat a dead horse with these things? These things were so gross, so broken, so screwed up. Now I understand. Once you look at the teeth that comes out of your face and you're like, why the hell was I spending all this money, time, and pain when all these things were just shit to begin with anyway? They should have been yarded out years ago, okay? But like I said, dentists don't fix anything, they patch everything. So I asked for my teeth back. They were horrendous. I should put them out there and you would be disgusted on how bad they are. I mean, our family's from England, so we already have soft teeth. All of our family have really bad teeth problems. I was born with an extra tooth, and when I was, when I was about 9 years old, I had it extracted. It actually stuck out on its own. And so, like I said, our family's teeth are all screwed up anyway. So unfortunately, I just happen to be genetically set to have shitty teeth, but also genetically set up for the dentist to pay for their kids to go through college too, okay, by paying through this. So after me deciding, okay, I need 3 teeth over here, that's $12,000. I got one that's back here that's just breaking off every other 6 months or so, and the dentist keeps on patching. They didn't want to pull it out. I'm just pull it out. I don't know, because that's our moneymaker, So I was looking probably about 6 implants or bridges or whatever it is. I'd still be spending $30,000 easily for my teeth. and then the rest of them are all fucked up. Okay, excuse my French. I know there's people out there that disagree on things, but when you're frustrated as much as most people are about their teeth, because there's nothing worse in the world besides having a bone marrow extracted out of your backside, checking you for cancer, because I do have leukemia. It's a good leukemia. I've been taking a pill for 5 years. Amazingly, all my numbers are really healthy. So, but yeah, all your teeth for $30,000 or so will be fixed, replaced, whatever it is, with all these bridges and implants or whatever it is. But then the rest of your teeth are going to cost you for the rest of your life. Pain, drilling, root canals, all this other crap. That's not even in my vocabulary anymore. I don't have any problems. Like I said, Kaiser keeps emailing me saying, we need to set you up for an appointment. I'm like, the only appointment you need to do is take an x-ray and then send me away. So if I did die and you need dental records to identify me from, and you don't know about ClearChoice, you can at least go through my dentist and they can identify me by my implants, and that's about it. So, but as you can see, the way how I talk is really not that bad. You can see that my mouth is moving just a little bit weird. The tongue, as it gets worked more and more, tends to be a little sloppy, so it doesn't sound perfect. But it's way better. I'll tell you, the last video that I did a few months ago, it was giving updates on certain things. And the update that I could say now is that if you have, I was having teeth pain in the bottom, well, not teeth pain, but gum pains, because I was getting teeth or food trapped underneath of my fake gums and teeth and stuff. I don't even know what the hell they call them, because they're not implants. I was getting food trapped in there, and then my gums were swelling and stuff. So I found that if I went into an not really a liquid diet, but I went to our restaurant supply store, and I bought a gallon container of it's Jello with whipped cream into it. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, I was eating that for a couple of days, and I would have broths, or I would have mashed potatoes and gravy that are the bagged or the fake mashed potatoes. So there's no skins, there's no lumps, no nothing into it. So if you eat a diet that you need to have food, you don't want to put it into a blender. Mashed potatoes and gravy are awesome, because if you go down to KFC and you get those mashed potatoes and gravy, oh my God, it's really good, and you can eat it. You can literally just slurp them right through your teeth, your gums, and clean out everything out if you need to. But if you're having problems with your teeth and your gums, stuff's getting stuck in there, your gums getting a little bit swollen, blah, 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 and you need to eat something, and you're like, well, I don't want to live on baby food because baby food's expensive and stuff like that, just Jello, like I said, mashed potatoes and gravy, applesauce, things like that. So just things that are not expensive, but things that you don't have any stringy foods. Chicken is the worst. Hamburger breaks down, chicken fibers don't, so those get, you really got to watch out. When you're also eating, try to eat to where you try not to get any food in between the front teeth and your gums down here, because you'll get food in there, and then it gets stuck, and then it gets wedged underneath your fake teeth, gums, whatever you call them. And that was probably the biggest area that I had where I was getting food trapped. So as long as you're eating, just try to remember, don't get the food in front of the teeth, and you should be really, really nice, okay? But yeah, since about a month ago or 2 months ago, the last video I had some pain, I had some swelling in my gums, things like that, and I used that dental pick, and I used my air compressor, but the dental pick worked better. And then I had the mashed potatoes, the gravy, and all this, and light foods, so that way I can get my gums to heal naturally, and not keep getting foodstuffs caught into those areas and creating inflammation and stuff like that. So since that, oh my gosh, my gums are great. For the last month, it's been a godsend. It's like, wow, this is the best month I've ever had, because now I'm actually knowing how to take care of them. The biggest thing that you really need to take care of when you get your teeth is let your gums heal, let everything heal, eat the soft foods at least for a month. You'll lose weight, which is great, but you'll be eating softer foods, nothing that you could chew or tear. They don't want bread or anything like that, because you're going to pull it like sourdough bread or something like that, If you want to have something like bread pudding is awesome because it's already soft, it's chewy, and it's great. The cinnamon flavor into it, the eggs, I mean, it's a great meal, and you don't have to worry about stuff getting caught into your teeth because it's really soft and mushy, which is what you want. But if you do have teeth problems and your gums start to swell and they're getting sore and stuff like that, just remember, eat soft stuff for a couple of weeks. It gets your gums to relax. It gets them back down from inflammation. Ibuprofen works too for the swelling. It kind of eliminates a little bit of water. So like if you get stung by a bee, the first thing they do is tell you to take a Benadryl. That'll get rid of the itchiness from the bee sting, but then you also take a couple of ibuprofen and lift up that body part that got stung, because that will actually let the water that your body's trying to retain, it tries to get rid of it. Okay, so let your gums heal for a couple of weeks, and then you'll be like back to square one again, and then you'll be like, wow, this is great. I really actually enjoy my teeth now. They're great. I don't really see myself smiling a lot or as much as what I did, because beforehand I never really smiled anyway, but I was never able to do that, you know. But anyway, if there's any questions or anything that you guys have regarding these teeth, issues you're having, questions, don't be afraid to ask, because the only people that are going to be able to answer them are the people who have actually gone through it. Most dentists have not had implants. They only know what people tell them, and most people don't tell their doctors everything. Even my wife has high blood pressure. The only way that the doctor talks to my wife about is when she goes in every 6 months, and the doctor's like, well, what are you doing about your high blood pressure? She lies her teeth off and she says what they want to hear. Okay, so find somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. I have my own personal experience. If there's somebody out there that's doing the same thing, great. Then you can kind of decipher which way is going to go, because we all have different issues. Our bodies are all different, but at least I'm letting you guys know what my areas are and what issues I've had, what to do, how to look forward to it, how to adjust things if you need to. So please just ask questions. I reply as fast as I can. Might be a day or two, you know, I am busy and stuff like that. So, but at least you have some avenue to express thought or questions or something like that. I'm not a doctor, so therefore I'm not going to get an email saying, oh, well, I have 72 hours that I might reply back, or that my assistant will reply and they have no idea who you are because they didn't work on your teeth and they can't access your chart. They want to verify who you are, blah, blah, blah. Everything's all generic on here. There's no medical questions about, well, what do you think of this and that? It's like, I'm not a doctor, so I don't give any medical advice. I give people advice, okay, of what I've gone through and what I find that works easier and better, things that work. At least they work for me, and so far, there's a lot of people out there that have voiced their opinions and said, thank you so much for telling me this, because I'm scared to death. Don't be afraid, okay? I was afraid, paranoid the day of my appointment, thinking I'm going to feel like, you can't imagine being awake and having all your teeth ripped out. One of them, you're like, son of a... But all of them, you're scared to death, you're scared shitless, okay? Go to the dentist, they put you under, you're awake, but you're not coherent. You don't even know that you're even asleep. You just pretty much, you're out. That's it. You wake up, and you got a temporary in there. You've already got your implants in. You got 4 teeth in the top and bottom. You look like a Bucky Beaver, you know. But you have your teeth in. Your old teeth are out, and you're like, really? They're already out? I don't feel any pain? Well, here's some painkillers. Take 2. Have your ride take you home, because you have to have a ride. Somebody, family member, something like that. My wife drove me home. I was very nauseous on the way home. But as soon as I got home, I went upstairs, grabbed a glass of water, took 2 pain pills and 2 of the ibuprofens or something like that to prevent swelling and stuff like that. And I just passed out for literally a day. Okay, I got home at about noon or 1 o'clock the same day of the surgery, that I was there at 7:30 in the morning. And I woke up the next day, I think, at about 7 o'clock at night. I mean, it just wipes you out. Just enjoy that time, okay? Don't be afraid of it. It'll happen, it'll get done, and you'll be like, why didn't I do this earlier? Unfortunately, it's because of the funds, the money, okay? implants are only for the rich and the wealthy, and trust me, I'm not rich or wealthy. We had to take a home equity line of credit on our house to be able to get these things done. But I don't have any more pain. I don't have more dentist appointments. I don't have any more teeth breaking off when you're eating. I mean, you're not embarrassed about your teeth. People don't know that you have these things. If they talk to you for the first time and you have a little bit of a lisp, they just think that you're that way. They don't know any better, okay? You can't tell. You can't tell, you know? Like this, my gums look normal. See? Till you get down to here, you just don't know. So, if you're thinking about implants and you got the ways and means to do it, I would do it. I would do it because you don't want to look like a tweaker on the side of the road at 60 years old and in pain all the time. Well, my mom's calling me up all the time. Oh, I got another broken tooth. Got to go down to the dentist. She's 78 years old now. And she's like, yeah, I got to go do this and I got to go do that. I'm like, really? You're still dealing with shit? You know, it's like she should have had implants at 55 or 60 years old herself. And for the next 30 years, she'd be like, I don't have to worry about shit. Don't have to go to the dentist. There's absolutely no reason to go to the dentist. Just brush your teeth daily, morning and night. At night, when I take my shower, I just bring my toothbrush and my toothpaste in there and I brush my teeth in there. And you just sit there and brush your gums and stuff like that. Just when you come out, you're just like, wow, they feel awesome. They feel like brand new teeth. They don't scratch, they don't dent, they don't break. They're made out of zirconia, which is one step lower than a diamond. They will never break. Even my dentist or my oral surgeon who did them said you could take a hammer to them, smash them with a hammer, and they won't break. It's amazing. The temporaries, yeah, I lost a tooth in my temporaries a couple times because you were getting used to it. My teeth, my jaw kind of went like this, like that, and then broke off one of the uppers. And they got me in the next day at 7 o'clock in the morning and said, let's fix it. Really? A normal dentist would say, I'll see you in about 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Nope, these guys are like the next day. You pay for the money, they're going to take care of you, okay? So don't be afraid. Get her done, you know, and enjoy life. You know, no teeth pain. Oh, my God, it's awesome. One last thing is when I was 16 or 17 years old, I had a filling that came out the back of my mouth. I'm pretty much living at my sister's place. And she's like 19, and her boyfriend and them have zero money. I was homeless for just a little bit. I had no dental plan, no money, no job, because I'm in high school. I'm like a sophomore or senior in high school, and I got this tooth that got down to the nerve. And if you just barely ate anything or just barely sucked on a piece of candy, it's like it literally feels like you're sucking the nerve out of your teeth. And I'm walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning in Albany, Oregon, with my hands draped above my head, just in so much pain. Didn't matter how many painkillers you take. I never want to go through that pain again. I have gone through it a couple of times waiting for the dentist that I have at Kaiser. Even if you say it's an emergency, blah, 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 they'll get you in a day or two. Well, they don't give a shit about your pain, because the first thing they say is, oh, on the time that you've been waiting, can you write on a piece of paper and tell us on the smiley face chart from 0 to 10 what you felt like? And I'm like, you don't have a 12, okay? It sucked, and I had to wait because there's 20,000 other people waiting to see this dentist. There's not enough dentists out there in the Kaiser network, so they're booked out for months. So if you have an emergency, you're lucky to see them in the same week, you know. So you don't have to deal with teeth pain. There's nothing there. So anyways, like I said, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I will answer them truthfully and honestly, because that's what it's about. It's not about lies and deception. I get nothing from ClearChoice. I get nothing from anybody else. I've already paid my bill. So they don't owe me shit, and I don't owe them shit. I just figure that people need to know something, because nobody else there that I know is actually, unless you're a paid actor or paid by ClearChoice or paid by somebody, to try and pawn off their wares and their stuff, okay? I get nothing from this. This is me just doing it. I'm on the side of the fucking freeway, you know, doing a video for you guys, okay? This is me. I'm not I'm not getting paid for nothing on this thing, okay? So if I get a kudos from ClearChoice, great. But other than that, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for us, all of us that are going through this bullshit, okay? So ask any questions. I'll answer them as best as I can. Thanks a lot. Sorry I dragged it out for 40 minutes, but hopefully you got a lot of good points, okay? Catch you guys later, and have a good day.